A few days ago, I asked a very simple question on my Facebook account. This is the question which I asked. Who runs Mike Sonko Facebook account? And I received several responses to that question. And a response from a gentleman called Benjamin Odhiambo caught my attention. Because Benjamin is actually known to me personally and is a close ally of Mike Mbuvi Sonko. According to Benjamin, we call him Benja, he responded that he does it himself. So I concluded that Mike Sonko actually updates his Facebook page by himself. Because by the time I was asking that question, there were several posts which were being made on that page, which I thought ought not to have been posted there. But they were being posted. And yesterday, Mike Sonko made another post on his Facebook page. And then around midnight, some minutes to midnight, a gentleman reminded Mike Sonko of an incident which happened in November 2017. On that fateful day, NASA had organized a rally at Jacaranda. And in the morning, the NASA supporters woke up to a field where they were supposed to hold the rally, filled up with raw human waste. And the neighborhood there explained to NASA supporters that 4 truckloads full of raw sewage were seen dumping the waste in the stadium, and then they left. Of course, the government had actually banned that rally. And that day, for those who remember, there were serious running battles between police and NASA supporters. And there was a woman, I still remember her image clearly, who stood up to the police. So the person reminded Sonko of that particular day. And then Sonko then decided to respond to that gentleman. Now, this is the response by Mike Sonko, because this response is actually our subject today. Sonko is saying, Mavi ya Jacaranda, the order came from above. Watu walitumwa na kibicho kumwaga Jacaranda, ndio the people's president Raila Amolo Odinga asihutubie wananchi. So if you listen to what Sonko is trying to say here, it's actually exonerating himself and shifting this blame to Karanja Kibicho and not to President Uhuru Kenyatta or any other person. Because it's very clear that the order came from Karanja Kibicho. And it's continuing. Now the system wants to shift the blame to me, while they know well they even tried to assassinate Raila when they instructed police officers to shoot him in his car at close range, aiming his head at the junction of Ngong Road and Uhuru Park. Luckily, the white Range Rover KBR 786S he was using on that material day was armored. That particular day, I was right in the middle of that chaos. And we all know that there were attempts on the life of Raila Odinga. But the fact of the matter is that Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta decided to forgive each other and move forward. And the other fact, which you must also agree to, is that Jubilee government knew so well what they were going to expect in Nairobi, and ensured that Mike Sonko was declared the governor for Nairobi. And many people, and I think yesterday I opined on one of the videos here, that Kidero lost because of two reasons. One of them was Vifaranga. There are people who believe that Mike Sonko was a Vifaranga. And if he was not a Vifaranga, one thing Mike Sonko has consistently failed to appreciate is the fact that he was the project, is that he was a project of the same system. The problem Mike Sonko has is the fact that he thought he was going to be smarter than the system. These people, the system, wanted to control Nairobi. So Mike Sonko was the best candidate for them. So they gave Mike Sonko Polycarp Igathe as the running mate. Mike Sonko did not survive with Igathe even for 8 months. So Igathe had to resign. And he refused even the appointment of the county secretary, the person the system recommended. So Mike Sonko is currently suffering at the hands of the system, not because of the system, but because of his own problems. He should have understood that I was a project of these people, and therefore I will only dance to their tunes. He wanted now to compose his own songs and dance. It doesn't work like that. But why is Mike Sonko bringing up this issue of Raila Odinga? The white Range Rover is actually fully armored. Nothing could have happened to Raila Odinga in that car. That's the reality. That white Range Rover actually belongs to Evans Kidero. Fully armored. Nothing could have happened to Raila Odinga. But why is Mike Sonko bringing up that particular issue now? He's been the governor for Nairobi for a very long time. And Mike Sonko, when he was still the project of the system, was very harsh on NASA supporters. But why is he bringing up the issue of attempted elimination of Raila Odinga now? Why is he trying to exonerate himself from the mess at Jacaranda? 4 reasons or 5. Number 1, Mike Sonko is trying to appeal to the emotions of NASA supporters. The fact of the matter is that NASA supporters are very emotional about 2017 general election. How they were maimed, how they were tear-gassed, and even how they were shot. So most of them are very emotional. And that's what Mike Sonko is trying to play with. And the fact of the matter is Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta are now together. But he's trying to play with their emotions. That's number 1. Number 2, I also believe that Mike Sonko is doing this because he has been pushed to the corner. And Mike Sonko has actually given up on Nairobi. The post which Mike Sonko made, let me just go to his Facebook page. There's a post which he made which prompted all this. In that post, Mike Sonko is calling President Uhuru Kenyatta as the governor, super governor for Nairobi. Let me just get the post. It's somewhere here. Yes. So in the post, this is actually the post which prompted the guy to remind Sonko. Sonko is saying, Nairobi super governor, who is also the president of the Republic of Kenya and commander-in-chief of Defense Forces, Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't know when Uhuru Kenyatta became the governor for Nairobi, but Mike Sonko is referring to him as the Nairobi super governor. He's continuing, and Saddam Hussein really overworking in pipeline Embakasi South constituency. Keep up the good job. Saddam Hussein in this case is the NMS Director General. Badi, Major Badi. And is accompanying that post by several photos, basically turning out to be dump site, which is very shameful, by the way, if these photos are true. This is very shameful. So from the post Mike Sonko is making, Sonko is a man who has actually given up in the running of the affairs of Nairobi County. And that's why he's calling President Uhuru Kenyatta as the super governor for Nairobi. So Mike Sonko has given up in Nairobi. And that's why he's been making a lot of these Facebook posts unnecessarily. In fact, when I posted that question, it had nothing to do with this post which Mike Sonko is currently making. I was observing that Mike Sonko was so obsessed with posting negative images from the US, like the demonstrations, mtu akiongea maneno ya FF words. Those are the things Mike Sonko was posting. And I raised that because Mike Sonko is not an ordinary person. He is the governor for Nairobi. That title remains with Mike Sonko. Number 3, why is he invoking the name of Raila Odinga? Mike Sonko is extending his fight with the alleged system. These are the same people who put him in office. So what he ought to do is to work with them. If he can't work with them, then he can only fight them. But how can he fight them? He can only fight them by dragging in NASA supporters. Dragging in the name of Raila Odinga. And number 4, I think Mike Sonko is also keen on trying to divert attention of Kenyans from the NMS. One thing we must agree and appreciate is that Nairobi County has changed a great time, or big time, since Major Badi took over. Water is now flowing in the slums. He has dug boreholes, so Mike Sonko can no longer go to those slums to provide them with clean water. Roads and pavements are currently well done in Nairobi. So basically, Mike Sonko is trying to divert the attention of Kenyans from those. And that's why he's posting those particular garbage, which I know, I am sure, can be true. Because the other thing we must give to Mike Sonko, he's a guy who doesn't know how to lie. Mike Sonko juangi kukudanganya. Even the poster anasema, those are the truth. That's the reality. The only thing is, he's a street guy. He's a wise man. So he had to lie low, apate kiti, then I should change these guys. But imekuwa ngori. These guys have refused to play balls. So basically he's trying to divert the attention from the success of these guys. And lastly, I think he also just wants to be relevant. Because in politics, you must remain relevant. What other functions are Mike Sonko currently performing? The other day, the county assembly rejected his amendments to the budget. That's a blow, a big blow for him, politically speaking. He doesn't perform functions, so he can't post those functions on his official Facebook page or even Twitter. He can only post these other funny things. He can only post about the past event. He can only post about Trump or Joe Biden or, you know, those kind of stuffs. In my view, and I maintain, that Mike Sonko has only one option. And that option is very simple. Work. Find a working way. Find a way of working very closely with the Director General of Nairobi County. Fighting him is not going to help him. I don't know what you think. But I think Mike Sonko is keen on appealing to the emotions of NASA supporters so that these NASA supporters can view him as a hero, then can help him fight these people. I don't think that's going to work for him. Let me hear your thoughts on this matter. And thank you guys for watching this video. Bye-bye.